everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio. Today I'm launching a new series. This is the 12 Days of Christmas Quilt Blocks. And these blocks are 8 inches square, and the patterns for these you can find at the link below at my blog, sunrisequiltstudio.wordpress.com. And I'm going to do these with fusible applique, but you're welcome to do these any way you want. You can resize them, you can use them to make a quilt, you can use them to make pot holders, table runners, you can make multiples of each block, do whatever you want with them. They are all my own design, and I don't mind you using them for your own personal use and for giving out for gifts, anything like that. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll be posting one video per day for 12 days, and at the end you'll have a nice sampler quilt. It'll be about 40 by 48 if you use a 2-inch sashing between the blocks and a 4-inch border. And the link will be below to my blog so that you can get the patterns there. So I hope you enjoy this new series. Okay, I'm ready to get started with the first block, and the first thing I'm going to do is this poinsettia. Now I drafted this out just by doing 2 different size petals or leaves surrounding a circle, and this circle is 1.5 inch diameter. Now the blocks are all going to be 8 inches, and these can be used for pot holders, or you can make a table runner, a small lap quilt. You can make several of these of each block and make a larger quilt. You can put a piece block in between and make a scrappier looking quilt, like a mixed applique and pieced quilt. So there's lots of different things you can do with these. And I hope to have this pattern on my blog for you so that you can download that in a PDF format. So I went ahead and I traced most of the pieces for all of the blocks on a sheet of, on a piece of fusible web, and this is a paperback fusible web. And I'm going to make this a combination of red and green, and so I'm going to put the red in the larger leaves, which are in the corners, and then the green will be in the shorter leaves, so those will be on the sides. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut these out. So you'll need, if you've done fusible applique on with fusible web, you're going to need scissors that are for cutting paper. Don't use your fabric scissors on this paper here. You'll want to use your paper scissors, and of course these are kind of in the middle of my entire sheet, but that'll be okay. And just trace your pattern so that you leave some room around them. You don't want to cut them out exactly, but you're going to need room around the outside edge of them. And I went ahead and I marked some of my pieces so that I would remember which block they went to. So you can do these one at a time, or you can do like I did and draw out the majority of them or all of them at one sitting. That beeping is my iron telling me it's timing out, so I'll just get it started heating again. Okay, so next thing I want to do is to pick the fabrics. Now I have a couple of stacks of my leftover Christmas fabric. So I'm going to cut my leaves apart, and I'm going to leave space around each piece. I'm not going to cut them right on the line. So I want to fuse this to the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to turn this over. And then I'm going to press this so that it's flat, and then arrange arrange my patterns on there. And you can, if you have a pattern that's not an overall print and you want to kind of make the best of the use of your pattern in it, you can fussy cut these and just fit them in wherever your design is that you're wanting to save. Now to fuse this, I have to turn my steam off. You don't use steam, you just use the heat. And just fuse them on. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out this chunk of fabric here, and then I will fussy cut these pieces out. And then put this aside and get my red fabric and just do the same thing. So I'm going to let that one cool a little bit. And this one is okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and I am going to use my fabric scissor for these because the paper scissors will not cut this well at this point with the fabric attached. So I'm just going to cut right on my lines. Or close to them. So there's piece number one. Now I need to do the center, and I'm going to use this piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw or cut out my circle for the center. Now if you have a polka dot fabric, that will that would help it look more like the center of a poinsettia. I don't happen to have one in the right color, so I'm going to use this, and then I can mimic the flowers of the poinsettia with quilting. So now I've got all of my pieces, and I just need my quilt block, and this is just a piece of cotton, white cotton, and you don't have to use plain, you could use, you know, whatever you want. Now this is a little on the thin side, but it's actually going to help me find placement for everything. So you can go ahead and find the center of your fabric and line it up with the center of your block, or you can do like I do and just eyeball it. Just want to make sure you're in have a 1/4 inch here, because that's going to be your seam line. So first thing I'm going to do is my green leaves are going to be in the back, and I'm going to put those in first. And an easy way to get this paper off is to score it with a pen, and then just put your finger in there and then just pull it, and it comes right off. And I'm going to go ahead and lay these down. I can see the pattern through the fabric because the fabric is thin enough, and I used the Sharpie on when I drew it, so I can see it pretty well. This one goes this way. Okay, now at this point these could be fused down, but I want to see what these pieces look like when I put them on. And I still need paper removed from a couple. Now this piece I cut through the fusible, but that's not going to be an issue, so. That goes there. Oops. Okay. And then I put in the center to cover all those raw edges. And if I can get my, so there we go, there's the poinsettia. So we can do that. Another thing we could do would be to overlap them like this. So just play around with your pieces to see how you like them. And decide if you like one look better than the other. Maybe there was something still off about that. And try not to wear a big cuffed sweatshirt when you do this, because it causes more problems than it's worth, I think. So here we go. So there's my poinsettia, and I do like that look better, so I'm going to go ahead and fuse that there, and I'm going to leave the pins in the paper at the moment, and I'm just going to do a really quick fuse at this point, and then I'll take it apart. I'll take the pins out and then take the paper out. I want those set so that they don't fall off. So take those off and slide my pattern out, and then fuse them down. And then for this you want steam. But once again, check your directions on your fusible web, because if you're using a different fusible web, your directions may be different. So there's my first block. It's my poinsettia, and you can leave it raw edged, or you could do a satin stitch or a blanket stitch or a zigzag or whatever you want to finish those edges. And once again, you can use these for a quilt, a pot holder, a table runner. You could make them into a Christmas tree skirt. Use them as blocks on a handbag or a tote bag. Lots of different things you can use them for. So there is block number 1 in the 12 days of Christmas quilt blocks.
Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my newest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.